What's up, y'all?
Hey.
We are back to do the video we promised we were going to do.
Yes. We asked in our Patreon account what they wanted to see next, and they said they wanted to what you're doing. So
what's going on in your life?
Yeah, so shout out to our Patreons. If you want to join our Patreon, we would really appreciate it. You can join for as low as $5 a month. And inside of our Patreon, you get bonus clips, you get unreleased video, and we ask you about the thumbnails, and we ask you and actually listen to your input on what videos you want to see from us next.
And all the Q&A questions are sourced from our Patreon as well.
Yes.
So if you got some Q&A questions for us.
Yes. So what are we doing? What happened to Supernatural Summer? Why are we still in Memphis?
It's about to be Supernatural Spring, y'all.
And summer again.
And summer again.
Yeah.
So we're still in Memphis, obviously. Still living with my folks. We expected to be here nothing past September.
6-8 weeks.
Right. And that was like September
now it's
15th.
Like 6-8 months.
It's about to be March the 15th.
Right.
So we're 6 months past our original deadline. Or not deadline.
Right.
We're 6 months past when we thought we would be here.
Why though?
I drug my feet. A little bit.
Oh, we going there?
Yeah, we are. I'll be honest. I drug my feet. I was enjoying my sabbatical a little too much. Jená and I were planning on taking a 5-year anniversary trip. And with that being as close as it was to my 30th birthday trip, we kind of canceled that trip. And so our money stretched out a lot longer than we expected it to. Mm-hmm. So
that, remember where you are, okay? Mm-hmm. So when John was like, okay, I'm walking away from this job, okay, all of the money that we were throwing towards debt, we threw in a savings account. Yeah. So we walked away, we saved up for maybe a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
So mixed with what I had saved in my business account, what he had, what we already had saved in our emergency fund, and then the extra money that we just threw into savings once he decided he was going to walk away.
Plus all the money we sold from everything in our apartment.
Plus the money that we got from when we sold basically all of our stuff on Facebook Marketplace gave us a nice several thousand to live on for... Really, we lived on it successfully 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I drug my feet due to me enjoying the sabbatical, due to us having that little bit of extra income from Jená, due to us having more money, stretching it out, and then just believing the whole fallacy that no one's going to hire me around Thanksgiving, Christmas. And then frankly, I was just lazy and didn't put my best foot forward. So beginning in January, I started really actually applying, not as fervently as I should have, but I've recently started, I would say once we got back from our Chicago-Detroit trip, and even before then for a week, started really actively pursuing the next location. And we thought that was going to be, but...
Do we want to say that?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to say that shit.
Okay. So we thought that was supposed to be a location, and...
It still might be.
It still might be, but for now we've opened ourselves up to the possibility of staying here in Memphis for a little while longer.
A little bit.
Not, we never expected to be here, but it's worked out so well.
And it's been such a good, such a good experience to move back home and to move back to Memphis, I would say.
Right. Just being able to be around family, to be around friends, has
to
been
be in
great.
this weather, for me, but that has been some of it, but that wasn't that piece, the whole dragging in your feet piece, that wasn't that's not the whole picture. The whole picture, also includes that we were enjoying ourselves, and we were trying to figure out where God wanted us to be. And we were not moving quickly anywhere because we were like, God, we're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. We're waiting on you. It's Supernatural Summer, and God did so much to confirm to us that we were supposed to be here.
That's true.
And we want to be wherever God's grace is for us for our marriage, because we know that's where we're going to thrive. So we were just trying to listen, and we weren't hearing none. So we was like, we cool here. And then, money got low, and then, opportunities for me started to pop up, more regularly. So I was able to, get stuff popping for us. But what we had to sit and remember, because remember we was in the shower, and what we had to remember was, how did we know that God sent us here? Like, what things were we doing? We were literally like, God, we don't know if this is right, but we would take a step. And if it wasn't the right step, he would push us off. So instead of us,
and if it was the right step, he would honor that step,
right, and
confirm
we
it,
would see an increase,
propel us along.
Mm-hmm.
So we got back in that groove,
right? Because we weren't doing that. We were kind of sitting and waiting and listening instead of moving, and that's what got us launched into Supernatural Summer now. So that's where we're in a space now that we're actually moving, making some decisions about where we want to go and actively pursuing those. And if we're wrong, we believe that God is going to, push us to another direction. And if it's, where his grace is for us, then we're going to see fruits and increase, from that.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's perfect how you said it.
So in your ideal situation, how does this work out next for us?
So since, do we want to say that we've incurred any debt from staying here?
We can be all the way 100.
Okay. All right. So my ideal situation, since we planned for a certain amount of time, and then Jená was able to supply us past that, but we've still been here longer than we expected.
Way longer.
We've incurred some debt, and we're okay with that based on what else we've seen. However,
not okay is like debt is okay, but
right, we know that's
I had to overcome some limiting beliefs about myself and my ability to it's a whole thing. I think I'm going to do a video about that on my channel. I have to say this a lot because people don't realize this. I actually have a whole channel, right? I got 2 channels. This channel we do together, and a whole another channel where I talk about holistic living. This talks about faith and fitness and entrepreneurship. So if y'all want to see a video about me and how I make money as an entrepreneur and limiting beliefs around money and all that kind of stuff, let your girl know.
Yeah, that was me pointing at a poll or whatever she puts to indicate. Yeah. Yes. So we've racked up a little bit of debt. So my ideal situation is, honestly, and it seems crazy to say this, but to stay with my folks for a little bit longer, to take a contract engineering position here in Memphis, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, maybe a year, and stay with my folks so we can aggressively, not just pay off the debt that we incurred since we've been here, but to finish knocking out the student loan debt that we have left.
Wow.
All the way. Yeah. Get all the way out. And I would be cool, like, once we're to that point or very close to that point, us moving out and getting our own place here in Memphis. From there, I don't want to stay here for, there's a lot of benefits to being here. Obviously, we always wonder about the question of when are we going to start a family. So that thought is always bubbling in my head.
Don't say too much because people they're gonna come out in the comments like,
you're right.
Not yet.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Right. And I'm speaking personally. I don't know if Jená. I think Jená's having those same conversations, and we talk about it every now and then. If it happens, it happens. But we
ain't taking no precautions right now. That's a whole nother video.
Right. So, but that thought goes into my head of, do we want to start a family here? Do we want to start a family elsewhere?
I wouldn't care either way. You know me.
There's obviously benefits of starting a family here because we've got babysitters. We've got
we ain't got babies. We got family.
We got family. So obviously there's benefits of us having children here. Being around family, or family being able to see us at the hospital or wherever we are.
What? Don't even let that come out your mouth. I definitely do not want to do
home birth.
A hospital birth.
This one recently partook in a home birth, and she wasn't fully convinced before. I think she's fully convinced now. Yeah. So, but anyhow.
So, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, a perfect ideal situation for me, honestly, I feel like God has given us grace to be here in Memphis, both in action and attitude, because people, they don't like to move back to their hometown, let alone in with their family. It's like a whole ordeal. But I think God has given us so much grace, and that's kind of part of Supernatural Summer that bled into Supernatural Winter, that's about to bleed into Supernatural Spring. I do think we still have grace here because I have been enjoying my time in Memphis. Like, one of the videos we posted, people were in the comments like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you came back to Memphis." Like, I have. Right. But our prayer was, let us experience Memphis anew with new eyes, with fresh eyes. So I think God has given us grace to stay here a little bit longer, to stay connected. More healing that can happen in our family, more reconnections and rekindling with friends.
Regional travel. We wanted to get to the cities around Memphis a lot more than we have.
Yeah. you know, with weather, I still think some grace for us is here. So I'm not, even though, like he said, we incurred some debt, and you know, there was a little bit of laziness there, and a little bit of kind of being afraid to leap out. Why do we do that? Like we be talking about the children of Israel being in the wilderness for 40 years, but we do that time and time again in our own life. We had just had radical faith and was doing stuff radically. Then we got here and was like, we don't know it yet. Anyway, so that was part of it. But I still do think God's ultimate grace is I believe that we could stay here for a little bit more time, and God's grace for us is still here. So my thing would be the same thing. I would love to stay here for a few more months. You know, with John getting a contract position, so he's not tied to it. So we can rapidly pay off the debt that we incurred and get all the way out of debt, because we weren't far when John walked away from his job.
It would have been like, logically, it would have been smart for me to just stay with my own company and
4 or 5 more months, and we would have been 100% out of debt.
Right.
But you know,
hey, when God moves, you listen.
You listen, because that's where your favor is.
At least sometimes we did.
Yeah, you know, sometimes. But yeah, that's what would be. Stay here, get out of debt, be around family, just enjoy the activities, enjoy the what's happening.
And I don't want to go too far past that, which is what I was about to do. I don't want to do that.
And then lunch out and go to. So that would be my ideal situation. But that's the update with us.
Yeah, we don't know where we're going yet.
We don't know.
We think we know.
This is still a faith walk for us. But one thing we know is faith is not foolish, and faith is not ignorant. Like, we're not out here doing stupid stuff, being too spiritual, that we're not using common sense. So I want to say that, but we still, it's just us and God. And
yeah,
if you see us around the city, say, hey, we've had 3 subbies say stuff to us while we've been here. If you see us, come talk to us. Give us hugs. We hug you back. We'll talk to you. We'll have a little conversation. We'll have a little powwow. Up next, we do have a vlog coming, because, you know, with us staying with his folks, we still need to keep our intimacy up and all that. So we're going to kind of show y'all what we do to keep our intimacy intact in our relationship.
Hey, now.
You know, vibing and thriving. But if you are not a part of our newsletter, join our newsletter, because when we drop videos, I tell them, because YouTube will not always tell y'all when we drop a video. And support us if you want to on Patreon. We really appreciate it. So until next time, bye.
See y'all. Be blessed.
Be blessed.